about that was I went to my closet, I got out my walking shoes that I haven't been using a lot since 2006 when I was running myself, because I'm going to be out walking door to door telling people what folks at the Capitol know. And that is that in a building full of politicians, Josh Penry is a statesman.
Yes.
You know, we live in challenging times nationwide, and this country, or this state, is no exception. People are losing their jobs, but how has the state government responded? By raising their car fees. People are losing their homes, but how has state government responded? By raising property taxes. Businesses are closing their doors, but how has government responded? By laying on the red tape. You know, folks, when the status quo isn't working, it's time for a change. And Josh Penry represents that change. We need positive, solution-oriented leadership that Josh has been providing for 5 years from the State House and the State Senate, and that we can put in the governor's mansion and change Colorado into what we know it can be. In the coming months and in the next year and a half, Josh is going to have a positive message for the state of Colorado, and that's going to be that times are tough, but if a good governor is willing to make tough choices to put the state back in the right, we can get back up on our feet. Up on our feet if we believe that Colorado's best days are ahead of us. Up on our feet if we want leaders, not politicians. I am really proud that Josh is in Jeffco today, and it's my great honor to introduce my friend and the next governor of Colorado, Josh Penry.
Thank you all for being here. What a great room and what a great day to be a citizen of the state of Colorado. You agree with me? Yeah! We had an incredible day yesterday over in Grand Junction where I announced for the first time, well, I'll announce to you again today, that I'm running for the state of Colorado, governor of the state of Colorado, and if you support me, we will get this state moving in the right direction again. Yeah! 10 years ago this summer, I married a young lady who's standing right in front of me, Jamie Penry. Jamie, raise your hand. When I asked her to marry me, I said, honey, will you marry me? And she said, yes, I will, but there's one condition. And that is if you do something crazy like run for elected office, you can never, ever make me give a political speech. She told that story in front of a group of about 350 people yesterday, giving her first political speech. And she hit it out of the park, and she did extremely well, and I am fortunate to have her. And I have two kids around here somewhere, I don't know where they are, but Chase and Emmy Penry, a 7-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, who are in here somewhere. You know, over the span, a lot of people have asked me, wow, what a big challenge, young family. I said, it is a big challenge. But over the next 16 months as this campaign goes forward, you're going to see the four of us together out there as a team making a case about why and how we can move Colorado in the right direction. And here's Emmy right here. Emmy, wave your hand. Well, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again today. It is a beautiful day in Colorado, but there's something different about today. That's because today is a new day. A new day for those of us who know that Colorado can do better. A new day for those of us who see the state of our nation and what's going on here in Colorado, and we're concerned and ready to push back and fight back and chart a new beginning. It's a new day for those of us who are tired of the failed leadership and the failed choices in both political parties. Are you with me? You've seen the Republicans over the last decade. We see President Obama and Governor Ritter. They've let us down. They've made wrong choices. They put us in the wrong direction. But it's also a new day that for those of us who believe that no matter how tough the choices, no matter how bad the times, no matter how difficult what in front of us is, our best days are still ahead of us. I know when you hear what's going on in the world right now, it's easy to question that, but I believe that our best days are ahead of us. But it won't happen easily or automatically. And it won't happen without tough choices, real leadership, and some sacrifice. The next governor of the state of Colorado has big challenges waiting on that desk of his. And yet, with the right kind of leadership, we can get the state of Colorado moving forward again. And that's why we're all here today, to get the state of Colorado moving in the right direction again. To get this economy back on its feet and get moms and dads working again. To push an all of the above energy strategy where we embrace wind and solar, yes, but we also embrace natural gas and coal and traditional forms of energy too. We're going to push the cause of education reform. I see my great friend Senator Nancy Spence back there, who's been a champion for education reform. We're not going to be afraid to tell the teachers union no when they put what's good for the unions ahead of what's good for kids. We will fight that fight. And so over the next 16 months, we are going to wage a spirited and energetic campaign focused on just that, a Colorado recovery that begins with reclaiming some common sense and some leadership in the governor's office of the state of Colorado. Now let's focus for a second on the current occupant of the governor's office, Governor Bill Ritter. And I see a number of legislators here, and Representative Summers, Representative Kerr. I haven't seen who all is here. Representative Witwer, Representative Giroux, former Senator Kiki Traylor, I think is going to be here with us at some point. I think it shows that this party, we are united, we are moving in the same direction as a party. But let's talk for a second about Governor Ritter. Governor Ritter is a decent man, and he does care about Colorado. But as governor, he has been weak and ineffective. He's let us down, and in those instances where he has led, he's moved Colorado in the wrong direction, increasing taxes and fees by hundreds of millions of dollars on families like you and businesses too. That's the wrong direction for Colorado. Pushing uncompromising drilling restrictions that kill jobs and reduce energy production at a time that America and Colorado need more of both. That's the wrong direction for Colorado. Igniting old fights between business and labor when we should be focused on creating jobs and creating economic opportunity. That's the wrong direction for Colorado. Repealing spending limits, pushing through a barrage of taxes and fees, veering Colorado onto the same reckless fiscal path that sunk California into political chaos. That's the wrong direction for the state of Colorado. It all reminds me of what the old Gipper said about 30 years ago. He asked a question then and we ask it today. Are we better off now than we were 3 years ago? Are we better off for the administration of Bill Ritter?
No.
We are not. Which reminds me of another quote from the old Gipper. He said about Jimmy Carter what we say about Bill Ritter today. A recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose yours. A recovery is when Bill Ritter loses his. Hey! And those of you who are just meeting us in our campaign for the first time, this kind of message is the kind of message that we're going to take to the people of the state of Colorado. We're going to take a bold and gutsy message. I mentioned Ronald Reagan twice now. He went out and ran a strong campaign focused on the old-fashioned conservative values that have made our party and our country great. And guess what? He won 49 states, including Massachusetts. If he could do that then, we can do it now. Now, it doesn't mean we should be harsh and judgmental in our rhetoric. We shouldn't look down our nose at the other guys. Nobody hates the holier-than-thou routine more than the American public, and for good reason. But we should have the guts to stand up and make our case to the people of Colorado with conviction, outline our vision and our version of how government should work and where government has no business. And so that's what we're going to do over the course of the next 18 months. Great. Will you join me? Yeah! When I mentioned that, I talked about the fact that our best days are ahead. There are a lot of people who are frustrated and ready to throw in the towel. But now is not the time to be despondent. Now is not to throw in the towel or hunker down. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and get in the fight. Those of us who believe in freedom and free enterprise, we've got to get in the fight. Those of us who believe that government exists to protect liberty, not to tell people how to live their lives, we've got to get in the fight.